When the big staff dissatisfaction happened, and I can't remember what it was after the opening because I wasn't there. I was in the Washington National Zoo walking around. Somebody had a cell phone, very early for cell phones. And it was going on, and Michael called me, and I was walking around, and he said, they're refusing to do this or that, and they need this or that. And I remember saying to Michael, Michael, for God's sakes, it's only money. Say yes. And that was our instinct. Our instinct was that, you know, if staff feels this way, they must be right. We should fix it. We should listen to it. And that came from this political position that we had started with, that people had value, people mattered. It didn't matter where in the hierarchy you were. If you were dissatisfied, we needed to listen to that with seriousness and see if we could fix it. I remember the Boston Children's Museum is the place where I learned being the boss is a job rather than a kind of privilege, and that most of the staff thought, thank God I don't have that job. Good that you have that job. And it was not hierarchical in the usual sense, but it was a kind of apportionment of responsibilities, and that was my job. I remember also many times thinking at many meetings where somebody would say, now here's an idea I've been having. I remember thinking, thank God they've come to the meeting, because I wouldn't have thought of that. Subsequently in my work life, many meetings I've been to have been like kabuki plays where you know the outcome, you're going through the dressing, and the director intends for the director's outcome to happen, and none of the meeting mattered except that we could say we had it. That was never true in Boston. And it was, I remember morning till night we went to meetings, and there were too many people in the room, and we had little rooms and people sat on the floor. But and flip charts. If you want to get ahead, get tape. That's what my friend Stephen Fieber used to say. But most of the meetings I thought, oh, thank God everybody is here, because I would have never figured out this outcome except for the collective room and their real dedication to solving the problem, that almost no one ever came to the room to sabotage. No one ever came to the room to make it harder for someone else. And I left from Boston and went to work in England, where it was a national sport to see if you couldn't best somebody by pointing out how dumb they were. And it was very hard on me because I had been used to one meeting after another where we were legitimately trying to find an answer, not agreeing. And it wasn't always pleasant, but everyone was trying to find the door, the missing door, and figure out what to do with it. And I have tried ever since to try and make that reappear, to figure out how to tell people that if we're going to have a meeting, everybody has some collective responsibility in that.